Hello everyone, I'm Shine and you're watching Civil Engineering Tips channel. This is the 14th tutorial of Shear Wall Design in ETABS playlist. In this tutorial, we are going to know about the first design method, which is Simplified Compression and Tension Design method. Before we start designing a shear wall following this method, we need to know some facts about this method. Uniform reinforcing and general reinforcing method are a lot similar with each other, but these two methods are much more different from Simplified Compression and Tension Design method. Simplified Compression and Tension Design method is completely focused on boundary element. The central part is completely ignored in this method. So whenever you try to design boundary element, you need to use this method. Now let's discuss the boundary element and the necessity of boundary element. It's a plain concrete wall designed for the moment and forces coming on it. When the lateral load and the gravity load is applied on this shear wall, it gets deformed like this. So strength requirement in these end fibers will be higher. As the strength requirement is higher at the end zones and it's lesser than the mid zone, we'll provide closely spaced reinforcement or column-like reinforcement at the end zones. Strength requirement in end fibers will be higher. In this figure, we can see the river placement of a shear wall. These two ends are extreme ends, and here the reinforcement is special, and here we see closely spaced reinforcement and separate ring stirrup like a column. But in the mid zone, the reinforcement pattern is normal. These stiffer zones are called boundary elements. Now the question is, when should we provide boundary element? Is it compulsory to provide boundary element all the time? No, it's not compulsory all the time. When the compressive stress at extreme zones become less than or equal to 0.15 F'(C), then boundary element is not required and we can use mid-span reinforcement in there. When the compressive stress at extreme zones become greater than 0.2 F'(C), then the boundary element is mandatory. Minimum reinforcement of boundary element is 0.8% of A gross. So if we need to provide boundary element in our shear wall, what will be the dimension of the boundary element? The thickness of the wall here, it is TW, and the length of the boundary element will be 2 TW in both sides. This is the minimum requirement of boundary element. Initially we can begin with the length of boundary element as 2 TW. If it requires larger dimension, we will keep the thickness TW fixed and increase the length to TW. Then we will check the compressive stress is less than 0.2 F'(C) or not. If it crosses 0.2 F'(C), we will increase TW. We know stress is equal to force by area, so if we increase TW, it will decrease the value of stress and it will satisfy our requirement. So now we all know what is boundary element and how it's working. Now we will see how ETABS is using this concept in Simplified Compression and Tension Design method. So without further ado, let's dive into the main tutorial. Before we go for the design, we have to run the model. I'm clicking on this Run Analysis button. After the run analysis is complete, go to display shell stresses or forces option. I'm clicking on it. Then I go for combo and I'm choosing the envelope combination, and from here I'm clicking on absolute max option, and as we're concerned about shell stresses, I'm choosing shell stresses and I'm clicking on S22 and then go for OK option. So now the shell stresses values are given. To make it more clear, let's go to elevation and choose 0.2 and click on OK option. Let's zoom it little bit. Using cursor, we can check the stress value and requirement of boundary element. Here the stress value is 7 to 1.35 pound per inch square, and you can see that the stress is increased at the end. Now we will calculate the allowable limit of shell stress, which is 0.2 into F prime C. So 0.2 into our F prime C is 3500 pound per square inch. The value is 700. So if the shell stress value is greater than 700, then we will provide boundary element, otherwise there will be no need of boundary element. Now we will go for shear wall design. From here we can do that. I'm clicking on this arrow and clicking on view or revise preferences. Here we can check the design code and the rebar materials at 60 KSI, and then clicking on OK. Again, we're clicking on here and see the load combinations are okay or not. I'm clicking on OK and selecting all the shear walls and going here and holding the cursor on assign pier section. You can see three different design methods. I'm choosing the first one, simplified, compression and design method. Again, I'm clicking on here and going for view or revise pier overrides. Here we can see that pier section type is simplified T and C. So now we can go for start design or check. Let's click on here and click on this option. Pier elements will report the forces and perform the design at the top and the bottom of each pier of each story. If we zoom in little bit, then we will see that ETABS is showing you the pier longitudinal reinforcing areas in inch square. From here we can get the unit, and here the reinforcement is given at top and bottom of the pier. If we click on this arrow and go for display design info and choose pier shear reinforcing and click on OK, then we will get the shear reinforcement also, and here it is showing that pier shear reinforcing inch square per feet, and the value of the shear reinforcement for this pier is 0.3 inch square per feet. So if we input the value here as 0.3 and press enter and choose the dia of the river as 12 mm, then we will get the spacing as 7 inch. So the spacing of the shear reinforcement will be 7 inch and the dia of the river will be 12 mm. This is how we can extract the shear reinforcement. Let's give a right click on this shear wall and we will get the design report. If we click on this arrow and choose fit width option, we will get a clear view of the design report, and here ETABS has given you the complete clear report of your shear wall design. Here the story ID is given ground floor ceiling and pier ID is P7, and length of the shear wall is 70 inch, thickness of the shear wall is 10 inch, and here we can see that our material properties is 3500 pound per inch square and the river material is 60 KSI. Let's come to this table, flexural design for P and M3 tension reinforcement, and in this table it is flexural design for P and M3 compression reinforcement. So here the top reinforcement is 0.0144 inch square for left, and the right top reinforcement is also given, and the left bottom, right bottom reinforcements are also given here, and the particular combination is responsible for this reinforcement and for this design, and this is tension reinforcement. Similarly, we can get the compression reinforcement from here. As tension and compression may interchange, we will take maximum and equal value for both tension and compression. In the next table, we are getting the shear design and we are getting the shear reinforcement for that particular pier. If we scroll down a little bit down and we go to the next phase, here the title of this table is boundary element check. From this table we will understand either we need boundary element or not. Here the length of the boundary element is 8 inch for bottom and for top the length of the boundary element is 5 inch. So we will give the maximum value, which is 8 inch of boundary element for this particular pier, and the compressive stress for top is 525.35 pound per inch square, and we already know that the stress limit is 0.2 A'(C), which is equal to 700 pound per inch square. So ETABS is giving you a complete profile of shear wall design, and this method is called Simplified Compression and Tension Design method. Getting the reinforcement from Simplified Compression and Tension Design method, we will extract the reinforcement. We will use this detailing for section designer in general pier section method later. Now let's close this design report and go to table and expand design data and go for shear wall design output and expand shear wall summary data and shear wall pier design summary. I'm right clicking here and clicking on show table, and ETABS is giving you a complete Excel sheet of shear wall design within a minute. Here you can get the reinforcement, which is longitudinal reinforcement for left, for right, and it is shear reinforcement is given here. And if we go to the right side, here we will get the compressive stresses values, and here it is the compressive stress limit in pound per inch square. Let's close this window and go for detailing and hold the cursor on concrete detailing and click on run or update wall stack detailing or check. And from this figure you can understand the shear wall design and detailing much more clearly. And from here we are getting all the design parameters and river placements of shear wall for pier. So this is all for today, and this is all about simplified compression and tension design method of shear wall in ETABS. In next tutorial we are going to discuss about uniform reinforcing method. Till then, stay happy, stay safe. See you in the next tutorial.